The following is a presentation of Bloomberg On Demand, the business of life.
Caring for an aging parent.
Gas, tolls, car maintenance, expenses Bill Russo doesn't think much about.
I've never really done the math, either because I don't want to or I just do what I have to do.
3 or 4 days a week after a full day of work, he walks a half mile to his car in Lower Manhattan, drives to his mother's house in Brooklyn, and spends a few more hours taking care of her needs.
It's a beautiful day today.
Then, he heads home to New Jersey.
It's about, for each trip, an hour and 20 minutes. That would total to approximately 4 hours a day.
He says people always ask him why not move his mother, who was diagnosed with dementia 8 years ago, to a nursing home or at least closer to where he lives.
Once I got started setting up the services that would make her safe and clean and give her a high quality standard of living, there comes a point, I believe, where you don't want to disrupt what's working.
That's pretty fast.
Across the country in San Francisco, Constance Adamopoulos is trying to maintain a normal home life for her 4-year-old son, Vaughn. Aside from running her own home-based event planning business,
Organized Chaos, this is Constance.
both her mother and uncle are living with her.
I only have 2 hands, and I've got 3 people to take care of. So while one kid is running and the other 2 are barely standing, I'm trying to help everyone. Use your fork. Okay.
Sound familiar?
This is the backbone of our long-term care system. Over 80% of care that is given in our country is provided by family and friends.
Welcome to Bloomberg On Demand, the business of life. I'm Suzanne O'Halloran. According to the American Association of Retired Persons, millions of Americans are now providing care for their parents. AARP estimates the economic value of that care to be about $350 billion a year. And that's not including the personal financial sacrifices the children make.
Caregivers give up promotions. Many switch from a full-time status to a part-time status. And at least 11% leave the workplace entirely, stop working. That's going to have implications for their Social Security earnings over time and their ability to invest in their long-term financial security.
If you are now responsible for a loved one's well-being, sorting out their finances can go a long way toward reducing stress for everyone involved.
That includes gathering such basic information as where is their money, what are the different banks, what are the account numbers of those banks, where are their financial assets, where is the deed to the house, where are their insurance policies kept, do they have a safe deposit box. These are not supposed to be ways for you to take over. These are ways for you as an adult child to understand the circumstances in order to help.
And to plan, because how income and assets are structured will determine what services your parent is eligible for. It also maps out what your financial burden adds up to.
Okay, tomorrow?
An elder law attorney helped Russo and his brother draft a financial plan that would allow his mother to eventually qualify for Medicaid, the low-income government insurance program, which would cover many home care costs. When Constance Adamopoulos brought her mother to live with her, she combined their finances. As an only child, it was relatively easy to legally transfer assets from her mother's name to her own. This helped her mother qualify for government programs.
My mom, we made arrangements for, and she gets a lot of in-home support services, and I get money to be able to hire those caregivers. In my uncle's situation, because he has a house and he has money, he's not eligible for any of those services. And so that gets to be a very expensive endeavor when he has to pay for the daycare center, he has to pay for the caregivers. So, the monthly nut gets to be pretty expensive, probably around $4,000 to $6,000 a month.
Even though he had long-term care insurance, Constance says the policy just didn't cover enough. And AARP says it's not a good option if your parent is already well into their 80s.
It's too late. The premiums go up as your age goes up, and the premiums go up as your conditions change.
You might also consider a reverse mortgage. It allows someone to use home equity to pay for care. Whatever combination your family chooses, one common expense is paying for home health aides. They help with basic day-to-day activities.
The amount of money you spend on getting helpers can range between, $15, $18 to $28 and $32 an hour. And you do that times an 8-hour shift or a 24-hour shift sometimes, and that gets extremely expensive.
So use them to relieve you of some of your
We're
tasks.
making a mess.
You want to hire the home health aide to help you with those things that will relieve your burden. So if cleaning the house is the thing that you just can never get to, then maybe that's what you want to hire as a housekeeper.
Next, find out what services are available in your community. You may find organizations like the Family Caregiver Alliance. It provides services at low or no cost.
One weekend every quarter or so, they will take my elders to a camp and give me 48 hours to have by myself or with my son or whatever.
Russo found an agency that delivers pureed meals once a day.
And it's been an incredible lift for me. It eases the work of the caregivers, the home health aides who are here, and cuts down on expenses.
There are things like Meals on Wheels, there's paratransit, which can help with transportation, there's adult daycare. If you have to reinvent the wheel, it's going to cost you more than if you can get connected with the people who are already doing some of these things.
Still, other out-of-pocket expenses remain, like the $10 bridge tolls Russo pays every visit.
The tolls do add up, the gas adds up. There's no service or benefit that are going to cover that, but that I consider a minor expense.
And then there's always the unexpected.
My uncle came to visit for his birthday. He was supposed to be here for a week. Now he's almost here 4 years. I'm suffering a divorce now because of a lot of these responsibilities that I took on.
When my mother was hospitalized in February of 2006, the therapists told me she may not be able to walk again. What I had to do was borrow some money and renovate the bathroom.
At the same time, the cost of home modifications may also be seen as investments.
Today in the United States, it's about $76,000 a year to stay in a nursing home. So when you think of that and you think if I do a home modification project in my home that costs $22,000, that is an investment in time and money that will allow your parents to stay where they want to be.
New technologies are emerging that can ease the burdens, especially if you don't live nearby. This sensor system detects motion patterns and alerts the family when there are any changes.
My son will call me up and say, "It's too hot in that apartment." Okay. And someone will say, "You didn't take your medicine."
Place the blood pressure cuff on your right arm, above the elbow.
It's a very handy bit of machinery. It tells you what to do, and you can't make an error with it of any kind.
When Selma Camphor takes her own blood pressure, nurses monitor it remotely and fax her doctor weekly report.
Thank you for completing your vital signs measurement.
I think of the number of trips to the doctor that we haven't had to make because we've had this little machine. It's cost effective for everyone, and it's also psychologically effective for everyone as well. It's one less thing I have to worry about.
So let's recap. When you find yourself caring for an aging parent, try to sort out their finances as soon as possible. Consult an attorney to set up a financial plan to protect their assets. It may allow them to qualify for government programs, many of which require low incomes. Most people pay for home assistance out of pocket. No matter how the money works, try to use home health aides to ease your life as a caregiver. Research organizations in your area. You may find services at low or no cost. Brace yourself for out-of-pocket expenses like travel and realize unexpected costs will come up. New technologies like sensors and blood pressure monitors are coming onto the market all the time. They often cost just a few dollars a day, but may save you time, money, and even your loved one's health, not to mention your peace of mind. For more information on help with caregiving, go to the Family Caregiver Alliance's website at caregiver.org or the National Family Caregivers Association site at thefamilycaregiver.org. Check out AARP's site at aarp.org/family/caregiving. Thanks for watching Bloomberg On Demand, The Business of Life. I'm Suzanne O'Halloran.